The future promised us flying cars, space travel, and many other things that never came true. But instead, we now live in a world where people can get paid to play video games. However, like any other job, make one too many mistakes and you're fired. Today we are taking a look into the many times that professional gamers blew their opportunities by making certain mistakes. From players rage quitting on stage, cheating, and the usual person who loses their job over speaking their unpopular opinions. She said, "Men under 5'7" don't have human rights." But before we get into that story and more, today's video is sponsored by Deadside Club. Deadside Club is an online scrolling battle game centered around fast-paced action and tense games. Join a cartel that suits you and use different skills and special weapons to create a battle that no one else can. In this epic fantasy, there's a variety of content for you to explore, such as strategic dungeons, towers, raids, and rifts. Here you can obtain equipment and special costumes like the dinosaurs and daft helmets. They also have a God mode, allowing you to create your own maps, customizing them with your own layouts, rewards, and even monsters. The game is supported in over 12 languages, giving access to pretty much everyone. And if you're not cracked at first-person shooters, this game takes a side-scrolling approach to the genre, making it a lot more simple to pick up and start actually enjoying the game. So check out Deadside Club with my link in the description, add it to your wishlist on Steam, and perhaps we'll be playing against each other soon. Alright, getting things started, we have to mention the story of Vasily. Vasily was a successful League of Legends player whose professional career was cut short due to continuous behavior issues. From destroying his team's training room, to rage quitting on stage and knocking over equipment, the straw that broke the camel's back was when he got into an ugly dispute with his girlfriend on stream that led to him being arrested. By the next day, he was dropped by his team and suspended from professional League of Legends for 3 years. That suspension came to an end in 2020, but he was never given another professional gaming opportunity again. On April 6, 2021, the player Zeros from Vietnam was permanently banned for making an inappropriate comment on stream. So here's some context. Zero's team had recently been knocked out from qualifying to the international tournament MSI. Additionally, this was a time when a lot of things were getting cancelled due to the global pandemic. So while being salty on stream, he said, quote, "I hope that the pandemic situation gets worse so no Vietnamese team can go to MSI this year." Less than a couple hours later, the VCS, the league he was playing in, announced that the player would be permanently banned. Now this was definitely a heavy punishment just for making a bad joke.
If this was all he said, it's actually pathetic he got banned.
But allegedly, Zeros had already been warned and punished over behavioral issues within the last year. Still, that would be the end of his esports career, all over a bad joke. Now this next player wasn't joking. Tanukana was a professional Tekken player who was dropped from her team and sponsors over her opinions on men. Specifically on February 15, 2022, she was on stream ranting and she landed on the opinion that men under 5'7" don't have human rights. She said this and ranted over other things that would probably get this video in trouble. However, she was inclusive. She also said, quote, "Women with A cup-sized breasts also don't deserve human rights."
はあ、お前本当胸の大きさだけだないいとこ。いいやん、1個あったらそれでええやろ。なんかおっぱい見てけ、この野郎。
As you can imagine, her statements quickly went viral and actually went very international despite only having an average Japanese audience. It wasn't too long after that her team came out and announced that they don't agree with Tanukana's opinions and they dropped her from the team. Additionally, her sponsors also distanced themselves. Her opinions caused her to lose major sponsorships from big brands like Red Bull and Alienware. After this storm, it seems she took a big break from competitive gaming and being a public figure in general. As of making this video, she actually only recently returned to live streaming, but hasn't participated in any pro gaming since being dropped by her team. Coming back to League of Legends, IWillDominate was a player who received a 1-year ban from professional League of Legends back in 2012. This was one of the first pro players to be punished entirely due to their toxic in-game behavior. Riot stated that IWillDominate had a persistent record of in-game harassment, verbal abuse, offensive language, and negative attitude. Riot would use this moment to clearly send a message that whether you're a pro player or not, being excessively toxic wouldn't be tolerated. Since then, many players have received suspensions and fines for their behavior in solo queue. Now, unlike the other players recently mentioned, Dom did come back once his ban was lifted and had a successful career. But we can't say the same thing about this next player. In January of 2021, the Movistar Raiders signed Rapaz Triste, a pro Valorant player that was openly cheating. On his first day with his team, he played 3 games and averaged 26 kills. This is quite exceptional and actually raised concerns from his own teammates who reported him to the team staff. Then it was later confirmed that he was definitely using cheating programs and was later let go. This could be one of the fastest esports career speedruns ever. Now, staying on the same topic, cheating in esports is thankfully rare, but when it happens, it's definitely almost always career suicide. Optic Forsaken. This is perhaps one of the most viral cheating scandals, so we won't linger too long. The simple story is that Forsaken was participating at an international CSGO tournament, and he was caught cheating. After suspicious activity, they checked his computer and they found that he was hiding a cheating program disguised as a Microsoft Word file. This led to his team being disqualified and became the last game of professional CSGO that Forsaken would ever play. 4 months after the event, he broke his silence and apologized for what he did. But he also said, "If I could go back, I would probably delete the day I first played Counter-Strike. Nothing good has happened to me since the day I first played that game." Moving forward, we go back to when the player Blitz Chung lost his job over speaking his mind. During the 2019 Hong Kong protest, a professional Hearthstone player said "Free Hong Kong" in an interview after winning a major Hearthstone tournament. During that time, everything to do with Hong Kong was a touchy subject to major companies, as if they showed signs of supporting Hong Kong, they could potentially upset their partners in China and ultimately lose out on valuable market share. Blizzard was one of these companies. So to show that they didn't support Blitz Chung's comments, he received a pretty significant punishment. Making such political comments on the stream was apparently against a set of tournament rules that the player had agreed upon. Blizzard would go on to suspend the player for an entire year of professional Hearthstone, and they would not award him the prize money he had earned. It was only thanks to the online outrage that Blizzard eventually did turn around and reward the player his prize money and reduced his ban to 6 months instead of 12. Then finally, this is arguably one of the dumbest ways to lose your job. This is Soar Carl, or Carl Lama today, a streamer and player who was signed to the esports organization Soar. On March 5th, 2020, Carl would be on stream intoxicated, messing around with chat until he starts playing around with his gun. Seconds after revealing his weapon, he proceeds to eviscerate his tub of G Fuel.
Say I ain't got money. Say I ain't got money. God damn.
The best part is that after pulling the trigger, he is genuinely shocked at the result of his actions.
What the fuck? I swear to God, I just emptied the mag!
Now, obviously, shooting a firearm inside of your house with no direction is highly dangerous and not something you should do, especially not while drunk. So for this mistake that Carl made, he was banned on Twitch and was dropped by his esports organization. They tweeted, "We do not condone the actions on livestream by Carl last night. He has been removed from the Soar Gaming roster. Can't believe he shot the G Fuel." So now you know what to avoid if you ever become a pro gamer. And with that being said, if you're still watching, only 11% of you are subscribed, so I appreciate it if you consider subscribing. Either way, thank you for watching and see you again next week. Take care.